Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm your host Kyle Wood. Today we'll be diving headfirst into the fabulous world of flamingos. But before we start wading through the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell truth from fiction. Sounds easy, but it isn't always. Sometimes myths get passed along as fact, and sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. That's why it's important to exercise your brain and think critically about things you read or hear. Consider this idea about flamingos. The flamingo's signature pink color is in their DNA. Nature has a quirky sense of humor, and these bright birds actually have a bold camouflage. That's because while most of us humans can see the difference between red and green, most of the flamingo's natural predators, like wild cats, have a color deficiency that leaves them struggling to distinguish between red and green, so the flamingos can actually go unnoticed. What do you think? Is that flamboyant pink actually a clever evolutionary trick for hiding in plain sight from colorblind predators? We'll hunt for the truth at the end of this episode. Now for our word of the day. As we've talked about creatures and colors, I thought the perfect word for today would be carotenoid. A carotenoid is a group of yellow, orange, or red pigments found widely in plants and animals. Think of the bright orange of a carrot, the red of a tomato, or the yellow of corn. These colors are thanks to carotenoids. These organic pigments are produced by plants, algae, and some bacteria and fungi. Animals cannot produce carotenoids themselves, so they must obtain them through their diet. Besides providing color, carotenoids can also act as antioxidants, and some can be converted into vitamin A in the body. The word itself comes from the Latin word for carrot, carota, combined with the Greek suffix oid, meaning like or resembling. So carotenoid literally means carrot-like. Now it's time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about flamingos. Number 1, flamingos often stand on one leg for surprisingly practical reasons to stay warm and save energy. You've seen the picture, a flock of flamingos, many resting gracefully on a single stilt-like leg. While it looks like a tricky balancing act, or maybe a quirky habit, scientists believe there are solid reasons behind it. One leading theory is thermoregulation, keeping body heat conserved. By tucking one leg into the warm feathers, they reduce the amount of heat lost through their extremities, especially when standing in cool water for long periods. It's like us tucking a cold hand into our pocket. Another theory suggests it helps reduce muscle fatigue. Studies indicate that flamingos might actually use less muscle effort to stand on one leg than two, thanks to a passive gravitational stay mechanism. Their anatomy might allow them to lock their leg joint in place with minimal muscle strain, letting them rest more effectively while remaining standing. So that iconic pose is likely a clever combination of staying warm and saving energy. Number 2, flamingos eat with their heads completely upside down, using their specialized beaks like a sophisticated sieve. Feeding time for a flamingo looks rather awkward from our perspective. They lower their long necks, turn their heads upside down in the water, and then what? They aren't gulping down water. They are highly specialized filter feeders. Their large, unique-shaped beak is key. The flamingo sweeps its submerged upside-down head side to side, using its large tongue to pump water in and out of the beak. Inside the beak are comb-like structures called lamellae, As the water is pumped out, these lamelles trap food items like brine shrimp, small insects, larvae, and blue-green algae. Different flamingo species have different sized lamellae, allowing them to specialize in different food sizes and reducing competition. It's a highly efficient, albeit strange looking method for sifting dinner from the muck. Number 3. Both male and female flamingos produce a special sort of crop milk to feed their chicks. When you think of milk, you probably think of mammals, but flamingos and some other birds like pigeons have their own version called crop milk. This isn't like mammalian milk, but it serves a similar purpose, providing rich nutrients to newborns. Both parents produce this reddish protein and fat-rich substance in their upper digestive tract, specifically in the lining of the crop, a pouch near the throat. The production of crop milk is stimulated by hormones, much like lactation in mammals. The parent birds regurgitate this nutrient-dense slurry directly into the chick's mouth. Interestingly, the crop milk is often reddish or pink because it contains carotenoids from the parent's diets and even some red blood cells. This ensures the chicks get the energy and nutrients they need to grow quickly, especially in the crucial first few months before they can filter feed for themselves. Number 4. Flamingos live in massive colonies, sometimes numbering in the tens or even hundreds of thousands, for safety and synchronized socializing. Flamingos are incredibly social birds, rarely found alone. They congregate in huge groups called colonies or flocks, often located in remote lagoons or salt pans. Living in such large numbers provides significant protection from predators. With thousands of pairs of eyes and ears on alert, it's much harder for a predator to launch a surprise attack. If danger is spotted, alarm calls spread quickly throughout the flock. These large gatherings are also crucial for breeding. Flamingos perform spectacular synchronized courtship displays with large groups of birds marching, stretching their necks, and calling in unison. These mass displays help stimulate hormones and synchronize nesting and breeding within the colony, ensuring that most chicks hatch around the same time when conditions and food availability are optimal. It's a giant pink coordinated party with a purpose. And our 5th and final fun fact for today, these elegant birds can have surprisingly long lifespans, sometimes living for several decades. While delicate in appearance, flamingos are quite hardy and can live a remarkably long time compared to many other bird species. In the wild, their average lifespan is typically around 20 to 30 years, which is already impressive. But under protected conditions of zoos and wildlife parks, they can live much longer. There are numerous records of flamingos in captivity living well into their 40s, 50s, even beyond. One famous great flamingo named Greater lived at the Adelaide Zoo in Australia and was believed to be at least 83 years old when it passed away in 2014. This longevity is attributed to factors like fewer predators in captivity, consistent access to food, and veterinary care, allowing these birds to reach impressive ages. Now, for some news you can use. Today's tip is about responsible wildlife observation, especially if you're ever lucky enough to see flamingos or other wading birds in their natural habitat. The key is respect and distance. Whether you're bird watching at the nature reserve or viewing animals in a park, always maintain a respectful distance. Getting too close can cause stress to the animals, disrupt their natural behaviors like feeding or nesting, and in some cases, even cause them to abandon nests. Using binoculars or a camera with a zoom lens is a great way to get a closer look without disturbing the birds. Pay attention to signs indicating restricted areas, and never try to feed wild flamingos or any wildlife. Feeding them human food is unhealthy, and encouraging them to approach humans can put them in danger. By observing quietly and from a distance, you help ensure these magnificent creatures can thrive undisturbed, allowing everyone to appreciate their beauty safely. Now, let's get back to that fact or fiction challenge from the beginning of the show. Earlier, I asked, do you think flamingos are pink simply because of their natural inherent feather color coded into their genetics? Are they flaunting their feathers as a cosmic joke on their colorblind predators? There's a certain logic to it, but that idea is a complete fallacy. Flamingos are not born pink. Chicks hatch with soft, downy feathers that are typically gray or white. They only develop their famous pink, orange, or reddish hues over the first few years of their life, and it all comes down to their diet. Remember our word of the day, carotenoid? Flamingos get their coloration from the carotenoid pigments present in the algae, brine shrimp, larvae, and crustaceans they eat. Their bodies metabolize these pigments, particularly one called canthaxanthin, which are then deposited in their growing feathers and also their skin, beak, and legs. The intensity of a flamingo's color depends on the amount of carotenoids in their diet. A flamingo eating plenty of carotenoid-rich food will be vibrantly colored, while one with a poorer diet might appear paler pink or even whitish. That's why zoo flamingos need their diets supplemented with carotenoids to maintain their bright color. So the pink isn't genetic, it's dietary. Flamingos clearly show us that you are what you eat. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning all about the fabulous flamingo with me, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for more Fun Facts Daily. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.